Hey 365 Pro Wrestling Nation, it's Manicat here on WrestleMania weekend, and I seem fit to wear my WrestleMania shirt. I don't know if you can see it, but I decided to wear that to fit for the weekend. Anyways, today we have the Nightmare, Brandon Jacobs. How are you, Brandon? How's everything going since it's been, about a year since you've been wrestling in 365?
Yeah, it's pushing 14 months now, something like that. But yeah, I miss wrestling, but picked up a couple new hobbies. Golf is one of them. I'm not very good at it, but working on it.
Good, good. Yes, I like golfing too. I'm about to go hit the driving range after this interview.
Yeah, due to the nice weather here in Ontario, I've been out 6 times already, and yeah,
Wow.
seem to be getting worse every time I go, which I don't really understand. It's supposed to be the other way around.
It's supposed to be the other way around. Usually practice makes perfection.
Yeah, it's the opposite for me, apparently.
No, maybe you just got to focus. Maybe there's something you're doing that's like throwing you off or something, throwing off your whole game.
Probably the Happy Gilmore attitude. By the
So
way,
you
for
do
those
the
people,
Happy Gilmore swing?
no, I don't do that, but I do the club throws.
Oh.
So for those who buy
Poor
brand new
sport, poor
expensive
sport.
golf clubs, do not throw them. It's a very expensive bad habit. You'll break them.
Oh. Yeah. Some of them aren't very good for recuperating after the throwing.
No.
No. No. So, for some of the 365 fans that don't really know Brandon as much, could you maybe let them know how you got into the pro wrestling world and became the nightmare that you are today?
I've always loved wrestling ever since I can remember. Probably about 3 years old. My earliest memory of wrestling was WrestleMania 6. That was the first one on Skydome. There, I still call it Skydome. Screw calling it Rogers Center. Was
So,
Hogan versus Hogan versus Warrior. And I've been hooked ever since. And I always kind of
yeah.
had the itch, and I just never knew how to get into wrestling for the longest time. And then, kind of when I got through high school, I didn't have that same passion for wrestling. I still followed it, I just didn't have that passion. And then it wasn't until I was the end of college where that itch came back, and I was like, screw it, gotta do it.
So you kind of always knew that you wanted to be a pro wrestler and get into the pro wrestling world and stuff growing up.
Yeah, there's two things I always wanted to be growing up: the typical Canadian boy hockey dream. I don't know if you can see behind me. I gotta go the other way
Oh, you're a
apparently.
Bruins fan.
That's gotta figure this out. Right there, that's Cam Neely. That's my poster of Cam
Yep.
Neely. I've had that since I was 7 years old. I always wanted to be
Wow.
the next Cam Neely. And for those who don't know who Cam Neely is, have you ever seen Dumb and Dumber? He is Seabass.
Yep.
And the other person I always wanted to be either Cam Neely or the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. Those were my two idols growing up. And
Wow.
I was actually pretty happy to see him finally go in the Hall of Fame the other night.
Yes, I
Much
was just
overdue.
gonna say that. Did you watch that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, yeah. So that must have been kind of heartbreaking for you to see the whole remembrance of him and bringing all of his wrestling career back into the spotlight with being entered into the Hall of Fame.
It was kind of bittersweet. You're finally happy that someone that you've idolized finally gets the recognition they deserve, but then on the other side of the coin, you're kind of sad because he's no longer here with us, and he couldn't actually be there to accept the honor.
Yeah, yeah. But his son was there and his wife, and I think it was his sister, right? His sister was there too. So that was kind of cool to see all them back.
It was his daughter, actually.
Daughter, sorry.
Yeah, she looks a lot like him. Both
Yeah,
D.H. Smith and I think it's George, I believe, look a lot like Davy Boy.
yeah. So, well, that's great. I'm glad that you got to watch that. Have you been watching WrestleMania this weekend?
Oh, of course. I always, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrestling, which obviously in Ontario we can't right now, WrestleMania weekend, I make sure I'm off and I'm watching it. It's
Yeah.
Christmas
What
for
did you
us.
think of last night?
I thought it was great. I mean, all considering all the challenges the WWE had, Even, first time in over a year, they finally had fans in with the weather delay. And I thought overall it was a great show. I mean, yeah, you can nitpick here and here about that spot or this match, but overall, I thought it was a great show.
Yeah, yeah. I found like that with the weather delay and stuff, it kind of made it more like your anticipation, right? Because people have been waiting for this. Like you said, it's been a live show that they haven't had for so long. And I feel like that weather delay really made it so like the anticipation was just building and building. And I think that's what really made it a good show too.
I think too, it was like, oh my God, are we actually going to have WrestleMania tonight? Because
I
I
know.
know I think they were talking, it was only going to be like a 5-10 minute weather delay. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's going to be 30-40 minutes. I think it ended up being just under 45 minutes of delay or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was crazy. All the fans were like sitting in their rain jackets and stuff. It was kind of cool to see. So
Yeah, they stuck it out. Troopers.
yeah, they are. They are. So, what does your family think about you being in the whole pro wrestling world and liking pro wrestling and stuff?
My mom hates it. She's
Oh
supportive,
no.
but she hates it. Um, she never really understand the concept. Like, why would you want to like go through tables or go through chairs, get hit with chairs and weapons and stuff like that? My
Yeah.
dad loves it because my dad was the one that really got me into wrestling because he always had it on when I was a kid. So, but regardless, both my parents are supportive. Even I have an older sister. She's supportive. She's come out a lot to watch me wrestle.
That's good. That's good. I guess your mom might not like it too because, you don't want to see your kid get hurt, right? So,
Yeah, she really like being kind of like being a supporter because I was before I was wrestling and all that I was playing lacrosse and I was a goalie, so she kind of grew thick skin because everyone loves to chirp the goalie, right? So
yeah, you got to be kind of tough to be a goalie. Have people come and shoot. Like, I don't even know how fast they shoot nowadays, but they shoot quite fast at you. So,
that ball hurts. Even with all the
yeah.
pounding, that ball still hurts.
Oh, I bet. I bet. My sister did lacrosse. So, but every time I went, she was in the penalty box. And I'm like, why'd I come?
That was a good
But
thing being a goalie. I didn't have to worry about serving my own penalties, and I didn't have to run.
yeah, that's right. That's right. You have other people take your penalties for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So, with doing hockey and like lacrosse and stuff, how did you find time to incorporate wrestling into all that?
Well, I mean, I didn't really go anywhere in hockey. Wasn't that good.
Yeah, but you have lots of practice times and games and stuff, right? So,
Yeah. I mean, now I just more focus on refereeing hockey than actual playing. I don't even play pickup anymore. I mean, I used to play in an adult league here and there. I'll play pickup. I'm more focused on a reffing. It's a lot easier on my body, if you ask me, but
yeah,
just me.
yeah.
Um, Really, my hockey days were really behind me, and my lacrosse days, they were behind me as well. And I figured I needed
Yeah.
I need something to do, and I've always had that itch. So wrestling filled that void for me.
Well, that's good. That's good. So, who trained you in wrestling, or was it like a bunch of people that kind of just gave you a lot of guidance, or?
My two main trainers went to Crossbody Pro Wrestling Academy here in Kitchener. Ben
Okay.
Ortmans and Chris Tidwell. They're the ones to train me, um, learn how to run the ropes, take your first bumps, psychology, and then really anybody I've been in the ring with since I've learned from. Tyson Dukes, Rip Impact, Easy E, Lenny. Lenny really taught me how to work smart, especially when I had the bum shoulder. I couldn't do a whole lot. Lenny really taught me how to get less out of more.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that you got injured. How did that happen?
All right, I want to set the record straight. I did not injure my shoulder wrestling. Wrestling made my
Oh,
shoulder worse, but I had issues.
oh,
I had shoulder issues 3-4 years before I even stepped foot in the ring.
oh,
Just
okay.
I guess just where, because I played football in high school too. So during high school, I was playing football, lacrosse, and hockey, high levels of
All around
golf as
athlete.
well. Yeah. Um, so just a bunch of wear and tear, and then finally wrestling just kind of put the final little bit of tear in it, where it just got to a point where it was getting really bad. I couldn't even put a shirt on without being in pain. Um,
Oh
so, I,
shit.
so I was finally able to get it operated on in the beginning of 2018.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. That sucks though. Like it must have just been so aggravating too because you want to be in the ring and doing all your sports like you're obviously an all-around athlete and it must have been so aggravating. Did you do anything like while you were injured to kind of make up for not being in the ring?
Yeah, the I was, like most of us indie guys, we all have full-time jobs. I was off from my full-time job while I was recovering. Fortunately,
Hmm.
with my full-time job, I work a lot of weekends. So if I'm usually not wrestling, I'm usually working. But since I was off, I was able to go to a lot of shows, kind of make more connections and stuff like that. Other than that, just kind of really focused on kind of myself, kind of take a mental and physical break, and then focus on the rehab.
Yeah, yeah. I heard that you did some commentating though for 365 when you were hurt. How was that? Did you like doing that? Like, how'd that feel?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. I think if I could go back, and I'd probably try to do broadcasting in sports or sports journalism or something like that. But
Yeah.
um, I don't even know how it came across. I believe I asked Eddie if I could do it because I was injured. I was still injured, and I was like, "Oh, I want to do something of the show." And I guess he went to the people at Rogers, and they agreed. And the first night wasn't so good. I missed a bunch of cues. I believe my commentating partner was Jason Holglum, I believe. I might have said his last name wrong, but he does
Okay.
the
Okay.
Kitchener Ranger games now for Rogers TV. But
Yeah.
the second night we went out, or the second night I got to do it, a second time actually. It was a lot more comfortable. I knew what to do, and I felt my I really have, those who know me will know I have a very sarcastic side. So it was very easy for me to get that on the air while I'm doing commentating. Just turn it up
Yeah.
times 10, and I got to
Yeah.
be sarcastic. And since those shows were being taped in Guelph, I got to make fun of the Guelph Storm. Perfect as a Kitchener Ranger season ticket holder.
Be easy. Be easy.
Yep.
So you said Eddie went and talked to Rogers. Is that Rogers TV?
Yeah, Rogers TV. I
Oh, that's
believe
super
he did.
cool.
I'm not 100% sure if that's true. Maybe it's something you'd have to ask him.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I heard something about that. So I think that's pretty cool. Do you think maybe being like an athlete, like being a wrestler and like an athlete for like hockey and lacrosse, do you think that helped you when you're commentating?
Oh yeah, because you can always put the little 2 cents in there that maybe the fans wouldn't know, right? You have that experience of being in the ring. That's something that the fans don't understand, or like they see this big move and they're like, oh well, that's got to hurt. Well, yes, it does. Some guys just you got the adrenaline going through you, so you may not feel it, but it looks like it hurts. If it looks like it hurts, it probably does hurt, right?
Yeah. Oh, 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 of course. Definitely. I'm sure half the things that you guys do in there definitely hurt. Like I couldn't even imagine. Oh.
I don't care what anyone says at home. Getting body slammed on thumbtacks frickin' hurts.
Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine. But I'm sure like the adrenaline while you're in the match, you don't feel it. And then after you're like, oh my God, what did I do to myself? Like,
There's that initial shock of oh my god, and then after that,
yeah,
it's like okay, the adrenaline kicks in, and then after the match, when the adrenaline wears off, and you're picking them out of your skin, yeah, that sucks.
yeah, yeah, I bet. I bet. So like, do you like being a hardcore wrestler? Like, what makes you want to get into the ring and do that kind of stuff?
um, I don't even know how that came across of me doing the hardcore stuff. I think I took a crazy bump once, and somebody had a good idea to throw me in these hardcore matches. Um,
Yeah.
at first, I wasn't a fan of it because that wasn't my style. But then I kind of was like, well, you know what? It kind of makes me an all around better performer if I can do, the hardcore stuff. And, after a few initial matches where it's like, oh my God, these weapons really do hurt. It's not so bad. Kind of build up a tolerance to it.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Get thicker skin almost.
Yeah.
So, when you were doing your hardcore matches, you faced one of your first matches, like with 365 coming back, debuting and stuff for changing their name from PWA to 365. You did a show in Kitchener at the Registry Theater against Jeff Black. And it was quite the hardcore match. I'm pretty sure I seen you go through a barbed wire table, and that was insane.
That wasn't me. That was me putting Jeff through the barbed wire table.
That's what it was. Yeah, yeah. I couldn't believe that. I was like, holy crap, like seeing that so up close. That was nuts. And then the very next night, you were in a triple threat hardcore match with Warhead and also again Jeff Black at the Red Chevron in Guelph. Like, you did 2 back-to-back hardcore matches. Like, oh my God, like how did that feel? Like, were you sore at all? Like to get into the ring the next night? Like,
I was very sore. I think this is coming up. Yeah, we're watching that suplex.
oh yeah.
I landed wrong and screwed up my tailbone or bruised my tailbone or something. And yeah, that's I think later in that match, if you guys go back and see it, I'm climbing up the turnbuckle to grab the thumbtacks that were on a pole. And I actually couldn't, I had issues reaching because my back was so messed up. But I got to give Warhead and Jeff Black a lot of credit. Those two are absolutely crazy. Those bumps those guys take, unbelievable.
Yeah. Was it you that put the, what was it, like, I think they're like wooden
screws.
thing.
Yeah, that was me doing that to Warhead. And the sad part is, I think he actually enjoyed it. It wouldn't surprise me if he enjoyed it. I've seen him take a whippersnipper to the chest. He is an absolute nut. I mean that in a good way, Warhead.
Yes. Yes, because it's very entertaining because you're all like, I'm sorry, there are a lot of fans out there that go for those hardcore matches. So, they like to see all that like pain and blood, and it just, so like you've got a lot of extra fans from doing that kind of style. Like it's really great to see too in the ring.
Yeah, that first night there when 365 Pro Wrestling debuted under that banner, there was a really good technical wrestling match. I don't want to throw any guys under the bus, but I'm just saying, like, what a couple of fans came up to me, and I was just like, to me, that was wrestling. And then I had a couple of friends say they did not like that match at all. They liked the hardcore stuff. They liked my match. I guess everyone has their own cup of tea, but that kind of opened my eyes up to like, wow, okay, well, yeah, if I do the hardcore stuff, I'm going to get more following, more attraction. Like I said earlier, it's going to make me an all-around better performer and wrestler. You're not so one-dimensional.
Yes, yes. So do you think that makes you like stand out more from everybody else, being able to do that?
I hope so. And you never, maybe last minute at a bigger promotion, they need some guy to do some crazy bump, and they've seen my footage and like, well, this guy's good. Hey, call you up. Hey, we need a guy here for tonight. You want to do the spot? Sure.
Yeah. 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 It gives you a lot more opportunities to be able to do different promotions and different kinds of styles of matches. So
yeah, and it also, maybe you have a log jam for the main event pitcher for the titles. And so, obviously that's the obvious goal, but like, if there's a log jam there, there may not be a spot for you, but hey, I've done hardcore matches. Well, hey, there's no hardcore match on the card yet, or they haven't booked one. Hey, Brandon, do you want to do a hardcore match? This way we can get you on the card. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and it brings a whole bunch of other different kinds of fans too to the show.
Yeah, there's still the old '90s. I know that's almost like 30 years ago now. The '90s, eh?
Oh
Um,
my God, don't even say that.
yeah, you still got the hardcore ECW fans out there and the Attitude Era fans. So they
Yeah.
still appreciate the hardcore stuff.
Oh yeah, of course. Definitely. Definitely. I don't know if you watch AEW, but there was a girls hardcore match. I believe it was at their last pay-per-view. And I couldn't imagine girls like doing that. I think it was Dr. Britt Baker and I want to say Thunder Rosa, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah, yeah. So like I've never seen a woman bleed in the match like what Dr. Britt Baker was doing. Like that it's opening up a lot of doors for other kinds of wrestlers that you wouldn't even think would be able to do the hardcore style too.
my personal opinion on that was I thought it was a great match. I thought I know it's a problem with wrestling or life in general these days, the internet, everyone likes to bitch about everything on it. I know the women's division's been knocked really hard on social media and AEW, and I thought those girls just went, balls to the walls, literally in that match, and hopefully it shut a lot of people up for the
Yeah.
AEW women's division.
Yeah. Yeah. Like everybody's allowed to have their own opinions, but they're doing their best and I think they brought it. They definitely did such an amazing job at showcasing how women can do hardcore matches too. So,
Yeah, I thought it was amazing, but yeah, just, people love to bitch about everything and nothing, especially these days, because we're in what the third lockdown now, and people are getting frustrated. But if it was easy, everyone would hit it out of the park every time, right? I know
that's
everyone.
true.
I know myself. I've had matches where I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna hit it out of the park," and it's been awful. Or instead of hitting that, scoring, still getting the hockey reference, scoring that game-winning Stanley Cup goal. You know, you still get a goal, but it's not the game winner. You know what I mean? You don't get the
Yeah.
big time, success that you wanted, but you still kind of delivered and was successful, but not as to the level you wanted it to be. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, it does. Sometimes setting your, setting it too high, the bar too high can kind of really upset you because you're expecting it to be so amazing and it doesn't go up to your standards, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I've had it too. I especially had it when I came back from my shoulder injury or surgery. I had a huge chip
Yeah.
on my shoulder personally because I knew people. It's a problem is sometimes you listen to people when you shouldn't, more of the fans and internet trolls and crap like that. People say, "Oh, I
Yeah.
couldn't wrestle." Well, it wasn't the fact that I couldn't wrestle. I knew how to wrestle. I just couldn't because my shoulder was preventing me to do a lot. Like it would hurt to do
Yeah.
even a simple body slam. So when I
Yeah.
came back, I
I
felt
completely
I had that
understand.
huge chip on my shoulder, and I remember one match. Um, I think overall it was pretty decent, but we tried to do too much in such a little time frame. It kind of a lot of it got lost. Instead, if
Yeah.
I just would have kind of focused on more of little things to kind of make it more bit, the little things bigger in the match, I think it would have been a lot better. But that was
Yeah.
kind of the match where I was like, okay, well now I know what to do. I got to get rid of this chip on my shoulder. I got to stop listening to the people that are trolling me on the internet and stuff like that. And I just kind of got to worry about myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it's okay to like see what their opinions are because some people do have a very good input and like it might help you in the ring, but at the same point in time, they're not in the ring. They don't really know what they're all around really talking about anyways. So, it's teach their own, but I feel like if you were to maybe talk more to like all the wrestlers, like you said, that have guided you through everything, they'd be able to help you out a lot more than just hearing all the trollers and stuff on social media.
Yeah, the guys that I'm in the ring with, the guys I have been in the ring with, or the guys and girls in the back, um, those are the really comes down to those are the opinions that really matter to me because they know
Yeah.
what it's like. They're there to, they're there to help you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course, definitely. They want to have a good show just as much as you do, right? So they want to help you and help you be able to build into the pro wrestler that, you've always wanted to be.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to ask. I know some people might be, maybe they're new to the business, and some guys can be at first, until you get to know them, can be very
Yeah.
intimidating to approach. But I'm not afraid to ask anyone their opinions, even if it's someone that, if it's an old Fed guy that came into, got booked on the show or got brought into town. I'm not afraid to ask their opinions because, they've been to the show. They know what it's like. They've been around
Yep.
for a long time. They know
Yep.
what works and what doesn't and how to improve and all that stuff.
Oh, of course, definitely, definitely. I completely agree with you. Do you have actually any inspiring advice for any wrestlers that want to get into the business?
Um, I'll just kind of use the advice that was given to me. Keep your mouth shut, keep your ears open, and just listen to the veterans.
Yeah.
Especially, I think some of the I've kind of seen a trend in wrestling where I know back, a lot of the old school guys can probably relate to this. There used to be when they were coming in, some of the veterans would always give them shoddy advice because they didn't want their spot to be taken away. But I think now that's kind of, for the most part, has ended, and I think the veterans know we want the business and wrestling as a whole to continue. So we need to get these guys to improve to keep wrestling going and get the product better and better.
Yeah. Yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. And like I kind of agree with you, like I feel like some of the guys would be very intimidated of some of the younger wrestlers coming in. So they would be like, I ain't gonna give this guy advice. But now they see, they just want to improve the new guys coming in just want to improve the business and just they want to be where those veterans are. So they have, and to only be in that spot, they have to give advice because they've been around for so long.
And some guys, some younger guys coming up just have that natural ability, right? Um,
Mhm.
when I was in high school many, many, many years ago, I went to just where I lived. I went to school with the Kitchener Rangers, and a few of the guys didn't even like. I wouldn't say they didn't. They still liked hockey, but they were just good at it. I know one guy. He wanted to be a baseball player. He played baseball and hockey. He was not
Mhm.
quite a good baseball player, but he was a good hockey player. So he just kind of stuck
Yeah.
it out. He realized
Yeah.
that was kind of his key to, either employment or an education somewhere.
Yeah. Yep. I get it. I get that. So, do you have any favorite moments in wrestling that you've experienced?
Like me personally, like through my matches, or
Yeah. Yeah. In your pro wrestling career.
um I know it's gonna be typical and cheesy to say, but the my first ever title I won in PWA, the tag titles. That
Yep.
was I don't care what anyone says, titles mean something. I find people try to say titles don't mean anything to kind of devalue kind of where you stand in the company or whatever, but to me, titles
I'm
do
just
mean
jealous.
something. Yeah, titles do mean something because it means the promotion has believes in you, or has faith in you to do something, or or your work is showing that they can believe in you down the road.
Yeah. I
Um,
get
there
that.
is there is a funny story about that night winning the first ever tag titles. It comes a lot better if Eddie could share this story. It's so much better. But Andrew Davis and I won the PWA tag titles from the Modern Day Warriors, and we got in the back. And I'm just, again, first title. I'm happier than a pig in mud, right? And
Yep.
Andrew Davis goes to Eddie and says, "So when are we dropping these?"
Oh my god.
Here I am. I'm having a moment, like I'm hugging the title and everything, and he doesn't even care, and he just,
He's thinking of like the worst case scenario. Like, when am I gonna have to give this thing up?
yeah.
That's so funny. Oh my god. How can you already
Totally
just
ruined my
like you
moment.
just got it? Like wow.
I'm going to jump in here. It was a little bit different. I needed a picture of these two with the tag belts, and he's hugging his for the website. And then Andrew Davis looks at him. He's like, "We're probably going to lose these tomorrow." And then he's just defeated. I'm like, click. But it was great, great moment. Andrew Davis, amazing.
I told
Oh
you
man.
the story is better when it comes from Eddie.
That's so funny. Oh my god. Oh man, you're supposed to be celebrating, and this guy's thinking of like, I'm gonna lose these soon. Like, oh man.
The best part is he made me carry his title around.
Oh really? Well, that's
Yeah.
okay. You could have one around your waist and one on your shoulder.
Oh, he made me carry it to the shows, and then he would actually wear his to the ring.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you meant to the ring. Sorry. Why though? Why wouldn't he keep it at his house?
That's something you'd have to ask him.
I'll have to ask him if I ever run into him. We'll just be like, hey, what is your issue with these titles? Like,
One thing I will, speaking about learning curves and stuff like that,
yeah.
Andrew Davis actually is another one that really helped me out. We were having before we became a tag team, we were actually kind of enemies for a bit, and we had a match where I was so hyped, I kind of forgot how we were going to start the match, believe it or not,
Yeah.
and I missed a spot or screwed up a spot or something like that. I really don't remember, but I kind of started, my composure started coming back to me, and then I wanted to,
Yep.
a rookie mistake, I wanted to go back to the spot we missed or we messed up or whatever.
Yeah.
And Andrew Davis reversed the headlock on me or something like that. I don't really remember, but I said, okay, we're going to go back to the spot. He reversed the move, put me in a headlock, and said, calm down, relax. We'll take it from here. So that really helped. Now it was kind of like, okay, yeah, if you screw up, don't go back to it. Skip it. Just move on.
Huh. Okay. Okay. All right. I guess so. Well, it works, right? Because you don't want to go back and have it, mess up even more or something like that, right? So there's always time to like train and practice other times too.
Yeah, the one thing I find with wrestling, it's really weird. Like to me, like when you, again, those are probably those internet trolls and stuff. I mean, AEW, WWE gets it more. When somebody botches a move or whatever, they make a YouTube video of it. But someone in the NBA, misses an easy shot. You don't hear anything about that. Someone makes
No.
misses an open net in hockey. You don't hear about that.
Yep. Yep.
It seems that
Or a mess
wrestling,
up.
yeah, it seems that wrestling gets brings out the worst in the trolls or something.
Well, they got nothing better to do than be jealous and mean to you. Just, you know what? Just learn to, if you even want to read them, just learn to read them and move on. Don't take it as anything. Just take it as creative criticism.
From people that have no idea how wrestling works.
Yeah. Or just brush a shoulder and tell them to screw off. Or you could just ignore it completely and just don't even worry about it. Go on with your life and keep learning to, new things and train to be better. And hopefully practice makes perfect unless it's golfing, apparently, for you.
Yeah, me personally, I don't really read the comments about my matches too much because, the people that are going to tell me, this match sucked or this match, if you would have done this, it would have been better, or, you did have a good match. Those are the people that are going to tell me backstage anyway. So those are the opinions I care about. I don't really, yeah, like I said, I don't really read those about my matches personally, but when I'm kind of bad for this. I don't comment on it. I just read it because sometimes I find them entertaining. You go on the website,
Very.
like I've already read the comments about last night's WrestleMania on the internet, and it was just like,
Yep.
I just find it entertaining. And it's just like, did you watch the same show everyone else did? Like,
Right? I feel that way with a lot of things sometimes. Like sometimes I'm like, what? I'm like, did we watch the same thing? But everybody has their own opinion. They've all grown up differently and they see wrestling different views than you would or I would. Like you said, like when you were at your one show, you were saying like you had a couple people that were different opinions with some of the matches, and like you were having some hardcore fans come up to you that you didn't think some people would be like that. So everybody's different.
Yeah, everyone's different. And, I don't know if I can say it, opinions are like a-holes. Everyone has one, right?
Yep, there's always that one. So, well, you know what? We have kind of come to the end here, wrapping everything up. Is there any last things that you want to say to anybody out there?
Yeah, just me personally, I was always, if you ever have a dream to be a pro wrestler, I know it might be a little hard right now due to lockdown and the pandemic, but eventually it's going to end. If you've ever had, ever dreamed about being one, don't wait. I waited till I was 28 to finally get in wrestling, and that's kind of my biggest regret in wrestling is waiting so long. So just go out there, find a wrestling school with good trainers, good teachers, and just go out and do it.
Well, that's awesome. I like that. That's a good thing to say.
It's a good thing to end on, right?
Of course, definitely. So if anybody wants to get in contact with you and, have the Nightmare Brandon Jacobs at one of their shows, if anybody has any shows, where could they get in contact with you?
Just on my Facebook at Brandon Jacobs or my Instagram at Heel B Wrestler.
Awesome. Perfect.